Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Saturday to you and your family, especially if you are in this trade right now. We got 3 white soldiers starting here to form, which is effectively just 3 strong green candles. Just keep in mind, typically there is followed by a 4th red day. Okay, so not telling you to short and sell everything, just saying tomorrow could be a red day. There's a distinct probability that based on patterns that we see in trading. Okay, now obviously if you're new to the channel, hope that you can learn and benefit from this. Obviously, if you can help us grow our Twitter community, we're going to talk a little bit about my tweet that I sent out yesterday explaining why the price action is increasing and why we expected it to, and obviously stay abreast on some really awesome technical and fundamental news, analysis, the whole 9 yards. Everything is here in one place, so be sure to follow and enable your alerts. If you want to have a good time, go ahead and interact too. It's a great way to be able to communicate with other awesome traders. All right, so let's take a quick look here at Pepe and see what is going on. So big picture, obviously we see the 3 white soldiers, price is increasing, and we're looking pretty good here. What we want to talk about a little bit here, just kind of preface, is this increase and obviously why it occurred. Now, if we have to kind of look at smaller time frames because daily doesn't give us too much data. We don't have enough days of trading. RSI is based on 14 days or 14 candles, and we don't have enough candlesticks yet. But when I was covering this yesterday, we saw the price action bounce off of 50 on the RSI. That's a distinct line in the sand, letting us know that we have a support level. That support level right here at 0.382 is the bouncing point, rightfully 25.5. Okay, so 25.5 is almost halfway to the current price action right now. It's awesome that it took off this hard, this fast. We're well over 70 right now. Keep in mind, when the price is over 70 on the RSI, it'll maintain that price point for some time, but if it comes back down below 70, that's typically a case in point in which you maybe want to consider selling because the price will potentially retrace. Okay. Now, we can't see it on this charts, but other charts, it's very consistent. The price comes up, comes back down. That's your take profit target. And then effectively, make sure that you kind of maybe leave a little bit open as well to ensure you don't close out your entire position. Because there are occasions where it can bounce, so you want to wait for that too. But ultimately, you want to wait for the price action to drop below 70, and that's a good indication of a sell signal. We can see the MACD is converging here. There's no selling in sight. We can also see something very clear here. If you look at the daily, look at this candle wick. Does that look pretty similar to the previous? Yeah, I think so. It's a 1.44 Fibonacci retracement level at 44,700, or 44.7 is a round number. So 44.7 is the key resistance right now. If we can close above 42 even, we may have a shot or a chance of retesting that level for a very unique and ugly cup and handle pattern. All right, so again, cup and handles, they work sometimes, but we don't want to rely on that or assume it's going to happen. That we're a long ways off from that. But the bottom line here is that the 4-hour gives us firm indications that we're above all moving averages, a lot of support below the price, but you got to keep in mind the price could very well take a nosedive here soon because we are retesting this resistance level, and oftentimes it doesn't break the first couple of times you try. Okay, and that was originally almost its ICO open, at least for the first 24 hours, that's the highest point in which it reached, at least on this exchange. Again, BitGet is an exchange that we use commonly as a community. Also keep in mind too, we got some phenomenal traders here. Quick congrats to Mechanical Investors. One of our shining stars here is using a lot of good things, obviously the CC Golden Indicator as well, but generally speaking, he's just a good trader, well-rounded, and greatly appreciate him. So as you can see, BitGet is essentially the exchange that we use, and we do also have partnerships with other exchanges, but I would recommend BitGet because they are really awesome. They provide excellent level 2 data and good, really awesome, good community trading competitions. Okay, so every other month or so we have a good 5,000 to 10,000 in community rewards that you can qualify for, and it's really simple. You just basically use the exchange and trade based on volume and profit and loss ratio. So keep up the good work, everyone. There, just want to mention that because I'm super proud of my community. We got some awesome traders in there. That being said, what's going to happen next? Well, we want to update our fibs a little bit, and keep in mind we don't want to update them yet. This candlestick hasn't truly closed yet, so we're just going to go ahead and scroll it over a little bit because we know that that's a strong resistance level. But once today's candlestick closes, we will readjust this from bottom to top and essentially gain more perspective on new Fibonacci retracement levels. For right now, we can anticipate if the price were to pull back, 37 even is essentially the price in which we could see next. And the reason why is because that's the 1.0 level. That is effectively the previous high, the most recent high, and that is essentially a common characteristical location in which the price will consolidate because it was a previous resistance. You can see here at this 4-hour candle, the price had difficulty getting across that plane and then inevitably broke above. It's common for the price to break through that level and to retest it. Take a look at this here. Interesting coincidence. Price breaks through, probably likely a short squeeze. Price comes back down and of course bounces off this level and doesn't look back. Okay, so we're probably going to see that be retested if it were to come back. If not, we'll probably hover around the range of 42 to 44.7. Okay, all right, so taking a look at the 1 hour, we'll wrap it up here. look at T sequential here, kind of note just if you understand how this works. Typically you come up to a 9, consolidate at resistance, you break through, retest, and the price comes up. So this is kind of a tried and true pattern. We are roughly at a 9. Well, the last times I covered this, and it was expected for the price to pull back and to increase. Well, it didn't pull back as far as I expected it to, but it definitely increased a lot stronger, right? So we're gonna have to draw out some new charts here, at least some new projections, not predictions. I guess if you put predictions and projections together, it's projections. But that being said, I'm going to send that through Twitter, of course. So again, make sure your alerts are enabled, because I do send out charts as a result of analyzing these videos to keep you abreast on what the conclusion might look like and the next steps, big picture. That said, on the hourly, we're not overextended yet, but we're at a 7. We have 2 more hours of continuation, either to the upside or sideways, before we pull back. I think there's a distinct probability we're going to see somewhere in the range of 37 or 33 as potential waves in which the price could pull back. In fact, Elliott wave is telling us that since we are kind of currently in this somewhat of an ugly Elliott wave, but in truth, this is the third, or basically the second higher high, right? We have to establish a higher low next. Okay, so the price pulls back, it'll pull back to either here or here. I think that's a pretty distinct probability. But it would make sense that it kind of lands right in that range, because that's the previous high here. You can see somewhat of a resistance level there. Okay. All right. Last but not least, we want to take a look at the cloud. This is going to give us pretty much firm indications that we're in good shape. If you don't know anything about the Ichimoku cloud, it's one of my favorite indicators, specifically on the 1 hour. Okay, and the reason why gives you good confirmation are we have momentum here, so the conversion lines above the baseline, lag and spans free and clear of the price action, and obviously we have the price action above the cloud. So that's basically 3 out of 3 indications to hold your long position open and not to sell. If the price just keeps going sideways here and doesn't break through that resistance level, there's a decent chance you may want to trim your position and essentially leave a little bit open. Okay, because the price could pull back, you could add your position previously, take your profits, add to your stop, and essentially continue when the price bounces. Okay, it's kind of a very common characteristic. It's what I do a lot of times. I will sell at the close to the top here when the price gets overextended, which we are. If you look at the RSI, you can see we've been above 70 for some time, and it just came down below. And then what you inevitably do is you essentially hold on to a small percent, maybe just say 20 to 40%, let the rest ride, and then you add to your position again once it retests that support and it continues higher. It's kind of a simple rinse and repeat action you can continue, especially in these bullish type of trends, which Pepe is obviously on. That said, we're looking pretty darn good here. Last thing we wanted to maybe take a quick peek at is our CC golden indicator and kind of just see what our long entry is telling us. It does tell us that we could and very well have confirmation right now for another long position. I would hesitate to take that right now based on the simple fact that you want to have multiple confirmations. This is the first. So you don't buy the first dip, right? You want to make sure to get in when the price is continuing nicely. So just say, again, hindsight's 20/20, but just say you got in here and sold here, you would have had a decent little profit right in the range of about 15%, and then the same thing here as well. Okay, right there to there, that's a good 10%. Now keep in mind, this is a conservative indicator that I created. It's available on our homepage. It's a very, very good indicator, but it's not going to give you like best case scenario all the time. It gives you best case scenario most of the time. In this situation, the price is running. It's not designed for a massive inflow. It's designed for conservative trading, which is why our traders are having very good benefit. They're getting good 10 to 20, 30% gains with somewhere in the range of a 1.5% jump based on 10 to 20x leverage. Okay, so again, different strokes for different folks, but I like to teach using good, healthy confirmation and to make sure that you're not in a position where you're overextending yourself. So either way, that's not a conversation for another day. I love teaching. I apologize. I tend to analyze and or educate too much. So hopefully you found benefit here today. And of course, if you can, once again, help us grow the community, cryptocash.tech, of course. We actually have day trades coming to the community this week. It's going to be a great week. I'm very excited for it. And just brings some great opportunities too to add to our swing trades we have. Furthermore, of course, one last favor, go ahead and jump on over to us here and join up on this Crypto Cash Twitter. It's really awesome to be able to have this as a benefit for our community and everyone else alike. All right, thanks again for joining me here. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.